Hey YouTube! Nice easy fix, got this in for a repair. This is a 2019 Fender Jass bass, Mexican one. Rather nice, isn't it? So I don't know, it'll be, I'm going to call it silver, but it'll be Aztec silver or sparkle mist silver or something like that, I would imagine. Yeah, so I got this in because the top E was buzzing, and I fixed it. Well, I knew what to do. So my first initial impression was it's buzzing, sitting awful low. You know, when you hold the E string down on the G, on the 3rd fret, there should be some sort of gap between the string and the 2nd fret. Something. Doesn't have to be a lot, but there has to be something there, and there wasn't. And that's when I noticed that it had short scale strings on it, which if you do or don't know, bass strings tend to taper and get thinner by the time they get to the tuning pegs. So on short scale strings, unfortunately, they started tapering here somewhere, and because the nut's so low cut, it just basically meant that the string that was actually on the nut wasn't this thickness, it was about half the thickness, which meant the whole thing sat low, and because the nut's been cut properly, it just meant it buzzed everywhere, especially in the open position, which is the most important one not to buzz. So I just put normal strings on it, sorted it out. I polished the frets, and this fingerboard was very, 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 very dry. I don't think it's rosewood. I think it might be, is it Pau Ferro or Pau Ferro or whatever it is they call it. So it's kind of sort of, it actually looks much better now I've oiled it. It was very, very dusty looking. Yeah. So well, basically I don't actually have a Jazz. I don't know if I've never owned one. I've had like a couple that have, turned into Buckycasters. I'm assuming the guy who owns this, I don't know, it was his pal that brought it over, is either short or just somebody who plays the bass really high up. It's quite difficult, sort of. But I'm one of those people that, see if we're at a party or something like that and you've blocked me in, and I say, can I borrow your keys for 2 seconds so I can move your car around the corner so I can get mine out? I won't adjust your seat, even if it is really far back or really far forward. I will just suffer the seat that isn't where I want it for the 5 seconds I'm using to move the car. I have seen many people do it before. It's like, into the car, what are you doing? I'm basically just going to reverse it down the drive, and it's in and there, whoomph, right back, so whoever gets into the car go, what the hell happened to my seat? They can't remember what it was before. Hence why I've not adjusted this strap. But it's really quite nice, and it's a Fender Mexican. I don't know how much one of these costs. Probably more than I think it does. I think they're more than 500 quid. I think you're still square at 500 quid, so it's maybe like up to about £1,000 or something. I don't know. I've got a feeling that I'm not sure it was this piece. I think it was. I think the guy won it in a raffle for like a £2 ticket. Bastard, eh? Can't go over the best sound of the Jazz basses when you've got both volumes at full, and you just turn one of them down a wee bit to there. That sounds a bit like a P bass. What's really to say about it? It's a Jazz bass. It's got binding on the edge of the fingerboard. It's actually got the nibs, they call them. I know old Gibsons used to have it. I've never, to be honest, I've never noticed it in a Fender before. So the frets don't go right to the edge of the fingerboard. There's the actual binding's got like a wee plasticky bit that comes up on the side. It's the same on the nut as well. It's like edges on it, which basically means you're not going to be able to refret this without noticing, because you obviously have to cut those nibs off and put the frets in normally. So whether I like that or not, I can't really decide. I do like it's got a bullet truss rod. The bullet truss rod is the best kind of truss rod thing, so you can actually, rather than having some lunatic just trying to wedge random Allen keys into a dark hole that's full of fluff and then tune it up, you can actually see where you put the Allen key, and you know that you've got the right one, and you're not putting in one that's just slightly different, that when you turn it it's going to strip it. So Bullet truss rod all the way. Doesn't actually say on it what it is, it just says it's made in Mexico, MX19. Looks very new, Fender branded tuners. The neck's beautiful, I mean, it really is. Yeah, and I really like the colour as well. And it's basically brand new, so... It doesn't feel that, maybe I'm just too used to other basses. Now I remember when I had my P bass, my Schecter, my pal had an American jazz bass, and I always felt dead thin here, like a jazz bass. It's like, I think I'm just maybe used to it now. There's not a big difference. I mean, I think a P bass is 42mm wide at the nut, and a jazz bass is 40, so it's like, you know, it's a millimetre on either side, but it does make a bit of a difference. It makes it, I know it does feel, it's like a jazz bass neck. Which is, let's be honest, you buy a Fender Jass bass and you're not really going to be surprised it's got a jazz bass neck, but do you know what I mean? So, very nice. I suppose one day I'll probably get a jazz bass. I'm just a P bass guy. You know what I mean? Two pickups. Two pickups, only need one. Also, it's got jazz written on it. It's like, jazz. Ugh. That's how I managed to keep this video down. I did basically, all I had to do was change strings on it and cleaned up the fretboard a bit. It was kind of, it's whether it had been set up by somebody at some point. It's only 2 years old or 3 years old, so. And I think maybe if you're spending £1,000, maybe a Fender comes already set up. You know, the nuts actually cut really well. That was why the tapered strings affected it, because the nut was actually cut right. You know, often if there'd been tons of room, if the nut was sitting high, then it wouldn't really make any difference with the string. It would just have made it more like the right height. So, nice short video for today. There we go. Might stick another one out at the same time. Rock on!